Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello and welcome. The Athena Award was brought to Waco about 4 years ago now, and it has been a wonderful way to recognize the accomplishments of some really outstanding local women. And the Athena Awards are back with us in December 7th. And joining me now is the wonderful Rachel Martinez, who is Director of Development at the Greater Waco Chamber of Commerce. And this is something the Chamber has done as part of really a series called the Leading Waco Women Series.
Yeah, that's right. Leading Waco Women Series. When it started was a 3-part kind of a summit. And then because of COVID and, just all the things that we've learned over the last few years, it was, like I said, a 3-part series, and now it's a 2-part series, just because, asking people to be out of the office for extended amounts of time is not been easy for people. So making it a 2-part rather than a 3-part. So in kind of the March, April, May timeframe, we've been doing our mentor or Empowering Through Mentoring Summit. And then we are going into our Serving Summit, which goes along with the Athena Awards. So
yeah, of course. Well, we've already handed out over the years 3.
Yes.
Athena Awards, but this is a program that's been around for decades, really.
Yeah, it's an international program. We are just fortunate enough to have the rights to award the Athena in Waco, and I believe we are one of a handful, less than 5, in the state of Texas
really?
That have the certification to be able to do it. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It's a very big deal. And I love the story about the origins of it here in Waco. Go ahead and tell that story again and how this all came about.
Well, are you talking about with
Rodney Kroll? And
well, yeah. I think that he just wanted to honor females in our community. This was a little bit before my time. I've taken over.
Well, that's true.
Amanda was the originator of the program, and so
You're right.
I'm not too familiar with it.
Well,
so you share, Ann.
Okay, well, let me tell you what. No, Rodney Kroll,
Yes.
of course, at his bank.
Yep.
It's changed names, and
Yes.
so I'm sorry. Forgive me, Rodney. But he was making more. They were making more and more loans to women entrepreneurs, and he was just seeing the work of Central Texas women, and he's really, I understand, kind of the driving force. Went to the chamber and said, "What can we do to honor these women?" So the process is like, I guess, any award. Folks would submit nominations.
Right, and just slip it in. It's Cadence Bank now. All the signs are changing to Cadence Bank. So
well, there we go.
There you go.
That's the name.
So yes, it is a nomination process. So there's an application. We ask for letters of recommendation. There's some pretty in-depth questions that have to be answered, and we like for it to be a joint process with the person that's doing the nominating and the nominee.
So it's not a surprise.
It's not a surprise.
To them.
Originally I thought it was, and I think that's kind of cool. But in order to get all of the information and make sure that the application is as complete as possible, we do encourage the nominee to be involved in the process. And so we ask some pretty deep questions and interesting questions about their role in the community and all of the things that they've done and they do. And then it goes to a panel of distinguished leaders in our community, and not just females. There's some males on that committee as well, that help make that decision. And we narrowed down. We received about 36
Did you really?
applications this year, which is great. We narrowed that down to our
and they're all excellent.
Oh my gosh,
people.
It's so hard. It's such a hard
decision.
I have the honor of being able to read them all, but luckily are not on the decision-making committee. I just get to
don't put me in charge
of
deciding.
all the copies and be in the room and just answer any questions. But they have those difficult decisions to make, and they narrowed it down to the top 4 finalists that will all sit on a panel and answer questions. Coming up on December 7th, and then the
and that's what's so good about it is that the whole group can benefit from the combined wisdom
absolutely
and experiences of these women, different backgrounds,
Right.
very, very much different accomplishments and talents. And it's just a rich experience for people.
Absolutely. And careers. I mean, the broadness of the careers that are represented this year, there'll be lots to learn from. So,
well, let's talk about the 4.
Awesome. Okay. You want me to start out?
Start out,
Okay. So we have, like you said, 4 finalists. Our first one is Deidre Emerson. She is an assistant city manager with the city of Waco. Really thrilled to hear more about her history and where she came from. I'm not sure how long she's been in Waco, but she has done some great things for the city and has done some great things outside of her. All 4 of these ladies have. All the applicants, it's one of the things that the committee looks for is, are you doing these things in the community because it's a part of your job, or are you doing things in the city because you have a passion for the nonprofit or the work or whatever that is. So she's done some great things outside of her realm of responsibilities with the city. So that's our first. Carolyn Hafferkamp, who is a vice president with Central National Bank, and again, excited to learn from her and her expertise in everything that she does. Becky Cram, who is with L3, Rebecca Cram, but we call her Becky, with L3 Harris, she has just jumped right in. She has been here for a few years and has just jumped right into everything. She has not learned the word no yet, which is great. But she, with her kids' school, with several nonprofits in town, with the chamber, just is a force, which is great. And she's going to have lots of wisdom to share. And then our fourth finalist is Dr. Tyra Lindsay Warren, who is with Baylor University. And we know her from her film festival and all the great things that she's doing, not only on campus, but out in the community as well. So it's going to be really exciting to sit back and just absorb everything that they bring to the table.
Oh, yes. I mean, a stellar group. In fact, I know Tyra, for one, has served as a panelist in the past when we were during the COVID days. So we were doing
our
sort
virtual events.
Our virtual events, and it was just so much fun hearing from her and from the other ladies. I mean, it's going to be really, really wonderful. Now, you say the questionnaire had some really deep questions. What are some of the questions? Do you remember?
Just a lot about their involvement and why they get involved, why they do what, where that passion comes from.
Right.
Why they
Is it just a part of your culture?
Yeah. And how do you find that where your passion lies? How do you figure
a lot of people
how do you figure that out?
Have that question. How do I find where I want to spend my time and my resources and talent, because there's so many great places to do that.
Absolutely. And figuring out where that passion is and what you bring to the table. And I find it interesting. I've been in the nonprofit world for a long time, and it's interesting. Do you bring your knowledge to the table and offer that? And typically it's something that you do on a regular basis, or do you bring to the table and do something that's totally out of your comfort zone, and bring to the table fresh ideas? And, if you do marketing for a job, is that something that you want to do, when you're just volunteering? And some nonprofits enjoy the fact that you're bringing something new to the table. That's a little bit out of your realm or your comfort zone.
Yeah, a good way to sort of stretch your wings, and maybe find out you have talents in
other things,
in other things.
Areas,
yeah. Well, this course, the panel, hearing from them is going to be an important part of this luncheon coming up on the 7th, and it will be at the convention center.
It is in the Brazos Ballroom,
a new locale.
Yeah, I think we outgrew our last location. We were stuffed to the rims, so we are able to spread out a little bit more in the Brazos Ballroom with a beautiful backdrop of looking over the Brazos River. And
it'll be lovely.
Our new suspension bridge as it's getting fixed. So So we are at the convention center, and got some great food lined up. Olive Branch is our caterer, so we're thrilled that Leah's going to be, as a female business owner, supporting our event, and so kind of full circle.
Yeah, so. That's a great idea. Great idea. In fact, I just enjoyed one of their catered box lunches yesterday.
Nice.
So it'll be great.
She's awesome.
Wonderful place for that. But I have a keynote speaker.
We do
lined up as well.
We do. So Shannon Sedgwick Davis is a Baylor Law School graduate. Lives in San Antonio now, but she is an executive with a nonprofit in San Antonio called the Bridgewater Foundation, I believe it is. I knew you were going to test me. And does some really interesting things. As I was reading her bio, as we were organizing it, just some really interesting things overseas with I was fascinated by her history and the things that she does on a daily basis. They're not coming to my mind right this second.
Well, that's okay.
But she does phenomenal things.
Yeah.
So.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Mike.
And we have a fantastic new podcast to tell you about. Bros, Foes, and Heroes. It's the two of us looking into the world of comics, breaking down some characters that you may have never heard of, and some that are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, so Zach comes up with a character each time, and I go into it just completely blind. I don't know who this person is or what their abilities are or anything, and basically I guess we kind of go over their origin story and just some of the ridiculous stuff that maybe, especially Golden Age stuff.
Oh, Golden Age stuff is always the best, and we will make sure to highlight all of the shenanigans and just absolute weirdness of everything.
Yeah, that's right. So subscribe today and follow us on Instagram at Bros, Foes, Heroes.
And if you don't, I know where you live. Not really, but please subscribe.
Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and
vinyl.
So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
So how did her name come up? How do you go about hearing about these?
We actually, she was featured in one of the Baylor magazines,
of
their monthly journals.
Baylor Line or one of those.
The Baylor Law School puts out, and we received those as through the chamber. And our president, Matt Metters, brought it to our attention, and he said, "Well, we were looking for a keynote at the time, and brought it to our attention, and." We reached out, and the rest is history. We worked through the law school to make contact with her, and she was thrilled to be asked. So, human trafficking, that was the word I was looking for earlier. Sorry.
Right.
But yeah, she's international work.
Interesting.
With some very interesting.
Of course, I think about
interesting characters.
Yeah, Unbound here
Yes.
in Waco, and of course Susan Peters has been on this program many times.
Absolutely.
And the work that she's done, I'm sure, it's the kind of thing that is hard. I mean, it's hard to even think about what they experience, but the lives that can be saved through the work of people willing to, roll up their sleeves and try to help. And I'm just fascinated with
I think she's
that.
going to have some very interesting stories to share.
I'm looking forward to hearing from her. Maybe try to get her on this.
Yeah.
on this program if she can carve out
great.
a little bit of time. I would love to visit with her.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a full.
It is.
It's going to be a very full morning. It starts at 10:30.
The doors
right?
open at 10. The program will start at 10:30, and we're scheduled to end at 1. So we'll hear from our keynote speaker and our panelists, and we'll enjoy some lunch. And it's going to be a wonderful morning / early afternoon.
It's good. Well, it's going to be awesome, and it really is. It's kind of like the Academy Awards in a way.
A little bit, yes. Everybody
Because
gets
that is a
dressed up
surprise.
and-
Nobody knows.
Right.
Who will actually be named
Exactly.
this year's
It will
Athena
definitely be
Award
one of the
winning.
4.
One of those 4.
That will be a surprise.
But it's always so wonderful because they're all so deserving.
Absolutely. And last year's finalist will be there to award this year's finalist.
Oh, good, of course.
So Lauren Schwartz will be there to award, and so that'll be fun.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and talk about the previous winners.
Yeah.
Rosemary
was the year before that, and Jill
Rayfuse,
was our first.
And Jill, Jill McCall. Yeah. And it was, and she really was surprised. It's just a delightful lunch, and this whole series, and I've just been so honored to be a part of it from the get-go, because I've learned so much. I mean, I always feel like I'm receiving way more with each one of these sessions. So from now, I mean, it's set now. You will just do the
We'll
two.
just be doing 2, yes. So we're working on a pretty special guest. Hopefully the plans will work out for our April-May event next year, Empowering Through Mentoring. We did one this past May, I believe, with Chief Victorian.
She
we did
was
our
wonderful.
Purple Table Talk, which was a lot of fun, a spinoff on another table talk that's popular on television. But this was a little less risque. But we had a beautiful purple table, because purple is obviously the color of the Leading Waco Women logo. And so we had Chief Victorian, and she brought 2 officers in from the Houston Police Department.
It was awesome.
And the conversation was amazing.
It really was.
And we really got to hear and see a different side of Chief Victorian, which was a lot of fun. Joking with these 2 ladies that came in. I say ladies, they're captains with the Houston Police Department. But it was a lot of fun watching, the camaraderie between them and hearing them talk about their experiences and learning from each other.
And their family life, and just the things that women deal with when they are in a profession or in the workforce. They still have other pulls and draws on their
Priorities
time and
yeah.
priorities. Yes, all those things. I mean, and it's for most of it's a constant juggling
Absolutely.
act.
Absolutely. And I can't imagine adding the stress of being, on the front lines to all of that. It's takes a very special person. So that was a lot of fun. And so, like I mentioned, we're working on our speaker for our Purple Table Talk for the 2023 series, Empowering Through Mentoring. So.
Yeah, well, it's going to be great, and looking forward to what you guys come up with. You're probably going to move it to the convention center because of the size, or
I
or
think
just
so.
keep moving it around. And we've done
might
it.
Move it around a little bit.
Well, the Arboretum was
we've
lovely.
Done the Arboretum. We love the Arboretum. The windows around the room are just just a beautiful
it's
facility.
a lovely room. Yeah.
We've been at Ridgewood, they've just gone through a renovation in their ballrooms, which is beautiful. It was beautiful before, but now it's they did a phenomenal
really
job.
an interesting. I just left there moments before, and I'd not been there since I'd seen their renovations that they've done, and they've really kind of reconfigured things to a great extent.
They have
at Ridgewood, and of course the food is always good there too.
Well, food's always good.
It's all about the food, right?
Yeah, pretty much. No, our the program and what it offers is really cool. So.
That's absolute. No, that I'm being facetious.
No, absolutely. I'm all about the food. I'm all about the food.
Well, it's it really is. It was a stroke of genius when all this began. Again, I say about 4 years ago, and the lives that have been touched by this. I'm sure you hear from folks.
Yeah, for sure. The nominees, they enjoy coming back every year to the event and bringing their families and also the mentoring that goes on, behind the scenes after the
networking
panelists,
that
the
happens.
That have been announced. You met Dr. Warren through this, I believe, and then that group that was on that panel is still in contact with each other. I was in that little group text for a while, and they were planning lunch dates with Chief Victorian and that group. So there's some great bonding and great continuing relationships, and that's what we love to hear. If they can continue to learn from each other and spend time with each other, and that's what we're. What we do.
We need each other. That's for sure.
Absolutely,
that is for sure. Do you need volunteers? I mean, what kind of things do you need down at the chamber that folks could help with?
Well, the chamber all together, we're always looking for volunteers. We have so many amazing programs and special events that we put on throughout the year. And now that we're fully back in person, volunteers are crucial to what we do. Sponsors are crucial to what we do. And so there's no lack of needing assistance. With this specific program, I have a phenomenal committee that does all the things for me, which is amazing. They'll be out there the day before decorating. They work closely with the caterer. And so going forward, if there's somebody out there that would like to serve on the committee, I will never turn anybody away.
Oh, that's great.
And we're always looking for sponsors because we can't do what we do without our sponsors. So, and speaking of, if it's okay, I would love to just thank Ascension Providence for their presenting sponsorship of our Leading Waco Women series. Like I said, we can't do what we do without our sponsors. So, and we have tables available for the Leading Waco Women December 7th, and we also have individual tickets available as well. So,
how can folks get those?
They can call the chamber 757-5600. They can go online at wacochamber.com and look up Leading Waco Women, and all of that can be purchased through our website. So.
Well, it's going to be an amazing afternoon, morning afternoon. A really good learning opportunity, and I guess businesses, are more than happy for some of their key leaders to take part in something like this.
I think so. I mean, yes, it's a little bit of time out of the office, but the things that they're bringing back, the things that they learn, I think far outweighs the few hours out of the office. So we definitely encourage, some ladies to get together. And, we talk about Leading Waco women, but men are more than welcome and they're encouraged to attend. They have
that's right. There always are some gentlemen at the event for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So don't let a room full of women scare you off. We would love to have men in the room and open to different perspectives. And I would encourage men to be on the committee because you never know what they might bring to the table, and new ideas. We're always looking for new ideas.
Yeah, good idea there. That's great. What I like about this whole program too, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, that you were able to read the various resumes and the work that these women have done that have been nominated, but don't have to be on the decision making. But that's what's so good about the Athena Award itself, in that it's a very prescribed process. Mm-hmm. And it kind of, the popularity kind of contest aspect of it is really kind of removed from it, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, they have the application is from Athena. It's not put together by the chamber. The questions in the application, they are specific about how many people are on the selection committee. They are specific about the requirements for the nominees. So it's not something that the chamber has created. This is very much from Athena International, and we follow those rules and guidelines very strictly, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to have the certification to do it. So.
Yeah. And is there an award, a physical award, like an Academy Award or an Emmy or something?
Absolutely. So each nominee will be awarded a beautiful statue. And then the finalist's name has been sent to Athena International, and they provide us with a beautiful statue for the finalist as well. So the finalist will actually walk away with 2 awards that day, one from the chamber and one from Athena International.
Oh, that's great. So, it's going to be
yeah.
It's going to be a wonderful day, and I hope a lot of you folks will decide to come. And again, how can they get tickets? So just go online.
Yeah, WacoChamber.com and look up Leading Waco Women. Simple as that. There's a tab right there that says purchase tickets. So.
Well, you are a leading Waco woman.
Thank you.
Rachel, thank you so much. You work so hard for the chamber, which really in essence is working for everybody in the greater Waco area, because the chamber does so much to generate and support businesses that keep our economy thriving.
You bet. That's what we do every day. So I love it.
Oh, well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time, Rachel. Thank you for being with us. Join us again next time for another edition of Central Texas Life. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.